The second set of adjustments under the half moon icon are dealing a lot with image quality, brightness and contrast, levels, curves, and exposure. We have looked at a lot of these in previous lessons in this Photoshop series. We haven't looked at exposure yet, so let's just look at one of these. If we go to exposure, we're instructing the computer that we want to change the exposure of the image as if I'm still out there taking the photo and I decide to change my shutter speed. That would be one way to look at it. If I go to exposure and move that left or right, I can lighten or darken the exposure of the image. The strangely named offset slider primarily does the opposite of exposure. It stretches tonal range downward to darken shadows without overly influencing the highlights. After adjusting exposure, offset can be used to tweak the shadows and the quarter tone areas of an image, while only kind of like moderately affecting the rest of the image. So we can use offset in the image, but if you use too much, you're going to flatten the image out. As you can see, I can darken areas, still leave some of the areas light. Gamma slider works in a similar fashion to brightness slider in Adobe Camera Raw. Moving it to the right increases midtones and to the left decreases them. So if we move in here, we can then move our midtones. Say maybe something about like that. Anytime you want to look at it, you click this button down here, you can see the before and the after. We've actually done a fairly good job of brightening this image up using an adjustment layer. And again, the beauty of this is if we had done it from the pull-down menu, it would have been a permanent change. Tomorrow you come back, you want to change it, it's no big deal. It's right here. It's not actually part of the image. Now you can make it a permanent change. I would only do that if you had to. We can go up to select exposure, go to this button right here, and go down to merge down, and you now basically have that image.